In this video, we are going to create text for our design. I want us to start with the main title. We can give it a very simple term like health talk. So let us just grab our text here, come here and start off. I have a reference point as I've mentioned. So move with this idea of it is a health talk. So grab this and change the color. So you can actually change your color on the properties tab or on this tab at the top. Most of the time this can be taken out based on the workspace you are working on, but always remember that this one is here. So you can just come here, make sure you are on hue, which is that H1, and turn this into white. Now again, you can change your font here or here. So I will also be adding some font packs within the course. So you can check the description of this video. So let me grab this font. This font is a popular one. Actually, even on our reference, this is what is used. And as I have mentioned, we might still have to do some resizing here and there. So to fit this, let me just reduce our host here. Let me just reduce it to that. And then let me grab the rectangle here. Let me find my rectangle here. Just reduce it to something like that. I want it to be wider, and let me just grab this and place it somewhere around here. I want these ones to be very close to each other. So the word health and talk, I want them to be very close to each other. So you can double click them, move over to your properties tab. And the setting I want you to get is this one called leading. So if you hover here, it says that you can set the leading here. So just scroll on it so that you can push that up. So make sure they do not touch so much, just there, something that slightly separates them so that we can also resize this much easily. So let me grab this and then just slightly make it bigger around there. And while you're trying to position this word here, you can actually do something very simple. You can make sure that this is behind our host here so that you can get this effect. Let me just drop that effect. It helps with the blending of the image, but make sure you are not going too much so that you do not distract the viewer from the actual message. So just slightly, something just slight like that so that it is giving you that effect of it is blended into it. Now you will notice that based on the color scheme that we have, that white text on top of a pink or bright background can leave that image looking very whitewashed. So we can do something here. So on the actual text, you can move over to the extreme right, double click on it to open up your layer style, and all you want to add is a drop shadow. So I want you to look at before and after. Drop shadow. That is what that does. Boost the opacity to get an extreme look at it. And you can also change the blend mode. This one is set to multiply, but also normal works. So depending on the one that you want to use. Now also make sure that the color is a black, and sometimes you can adjust your distance to push it away from the canvas. So look at that. Look at that. Let me just adjust my distance here. Now what if you actually change the color to a color that we already have on our design? So I've clicked on this part of her outfit. We have that blue there, and then you can always come and adjust your opacity. Now it is good to do this in context. So make sure that you fit your canvas to your window using Ctrl and 0, and then you can go back to your drop shadow here and then just adjust. So I think that works. I think that works around that area so that we have a little bit of that separation. And we can finalize this section by just doing one final adjustment. Let me place this here. Let me just place it around here. Let's make sure we are going for that effect where we have it blending into our host. So just place it somewhere here. Just position it somewhere around there. And our other text is going to be on this side. So let me grab my text tool and then just write here with. And then I want to look for a font that looks handwritten. So I have this one here. Again, I'm going to give you these font packs so that you can download them. So this is with, and we want to have the name of our host in this area. So let's reduce this. Let's just reduce this slightly, place it there, and we can add another text layer for our name. So left click, hold and drag this down here. You can actually just name this using just the same font, and all you have to do is come here and change your font. So that's a quick workaround that you can use a lot of the time. You just type with the same font and then you can just reduce. So let me just put this here, and I want it to be around the same area in terms of where it is landing at the bottom with the health talk. So make sure you are always using those guides that keep showing up. And I think we can make this bold. Let's make it bold. So our doctor is called Grace Jones. Let me just use that hypothetical name, just the most random name I can get. And then we can add some titles. Now for the titles, I want to use this font. Let me grab this one, Alt, left click, hold and drag it here. So once I have it here, just double click on it and then write doctor. We can actually reduce it. Just grab it and reduce it. Let's zoom in to do some work here. We can actually add a few other titles here. So we have doctor. Let us also add MBA, and let us add another one, DNP. There's another one that I've come across recently called DNP. So that is related to nursing, something to do with nursing and that practice. So let's just place it here, fit it to the window, and we can reduce the drop shadow on this one. Go to the layer, double click here, and then just reduce the opacity slightly. Now remember that you can also change your font. Like this one is rendering the D looking very funny. I don't like that look of that D there. So let's find another font that is equally bold but renders that D very well. So let me use this one. Yes, that looks like a proper D. So that is a very visible and easy to read font. So let me put it here. Remember, we can also add our drop shadow on the name. So you can actually copy. So on the doctor one, you can right click and find copy layer style. Go over to Grace Jones, right click and paste it. Look for paste layer style. So we have that there. And we do not want this to be very distracting. So let me just reduce that up to there. Let's also grab these two and slightly make them bigger. Let's just adjust the size to around there. So just move this slightly and work on the size. I think there is a lot of back and forth that you have to do so that you get this intact. Now I'm also looking for that look where I have this overlapping with her actual photo. So let me grab that Grace and then drag it down. I just want to drag it down until it is underneath the host image, and then I can push it slightly to the left so that you can actually just see that Grace part. And we are done with that part.